wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays. Next year I'll bring extra hats, okay? I don't know if you guys got the memo about festive attire, but I see a lot of bright, thank you. By the way, thank you guys for doing that, really. We'll have to give out prizes next year. But thank you guys for coming out. We're gonna have a great evening. We've got 12 awesome presenters and we have the room until 9 p.m. So thank you to Ray, who's gonna come up in a second and talk about refraction. I wanted to let you guys know we have a couple of events coming up. Carrie, our senior advisor, has QR codes for our virtual pitch event on Thursday. It's free, so if you don't mind, CB, just hand it out. You guys can register online at some point or take a picture of it. We also have Connect Tales on January 28th in Arlington, and we have, where's Margie and Aaron? Baltimore, right there. We're going to BW Tech at UMBC the morning of February 6th, right guys? So we're excited. That one will be limited, yeah. That one will be limited attendance, but yeah, so we'll get all that info out to everybody soon. Bay, come on up. Bay is right here. Bay always makes a grand entrance, thank you. Thank you for wearing red today, Bay. Why don't we go ahead and get started? I'd love to bring up our partner and awesome host tonight, Ray Stott, who's the co-founder and CEO of Refraction. Refraction is the absolute best co-working community in the Washington, D.C. area. Upstairs, Ray has been very generous to allow CONNECTpreneur to have a suite. We have a big room, and anyone here can use it anytime. Just let Ray or Skylar, my community manager, know. And you can come, especially for people from Maryland or outside of Tyson's, you need a place to camp out, get some coffee, make some phone calls. Anyway, Ray, come on up and say a few words. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Tian, and thank you everybody for making time in the incredibly busy holiday season to be here to support our technology ecosystem. I am, as Tian said, Ray Stott, co-founder and CEO of Refraction, just upstairs, and I am super excited to say we have our members gracing the stage this evening, as well as in the audience, which is fabulous. We all know that building a startup is not for the faint of heart, the way that raising a child takes a village. Scaling a startup takes an ecosystem, and I'm looking at it. So for anybody who is here, whether you're a supporter, whether you're an investor, whether you have those big ideas, none of this happens unless we all come together to collaborate and to connect, or to connect other people. So tonight should not just be about pitches and funding. It should be about sharing stories, about understanding motivations, about knowing who's in the room and how you can support. And sometimes the entrepreneurs in the room will probably agree with me here. Sometimes what an entrepreneur needs is a sensitive and sympathetic ear. It's really, really hard. And so when we show up for them on days like today, and we support their efforts, it makes all the difference in the world. So thank you for your presence. It's a present to the entrepreneurs this evening. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, and then thank you, Ray. And also, if you guys want to come by and take a look, you know, it's a really phenomenal building, and if any of you are co-working or need a spot in Northern Virginia, give Ray a call. Next, I'd like to bring up our host, sponsor. That's the Fairfax County Economic Development Authority, Anna Nisanen. Anna, thank you so much for sponsoring and supporting CONNECTpreneur. They have been sponsoring CONNECTpreneur now for many years, and we are going to come back here in June also. But come on up and say a few words, and congratulations on a great year. They've had a great year.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I want to say thank you to Tian and Ray for supporting our Fairfax County and Northern Virginia great minds, building great companies, and really bringing us forward. So I want to be very quick today, but I want to say you're here at a moment that's pretty incredible. So I have to put my Virginia State hat on for a moment. So this morning, the Business Facilities magazine ranked Virginia the state of the year. Earlier this year, CNBC ranked us the best state for business in America. And we just got some new numbers in for Northern Virginia. Our economy grew 9.3% over the last year to $300 billion. And us, Fairfax County, account about $178 billion of that. If we as a region were a country, we'd be the 47th largest country in the world. And you know what? It's because of you. In Fairfax County alone, we have about 160,000 businesses. 160,000, that's incredible. When I started this job 3 years ago, I was like, are you kidding me? Is that a mistake in your calculations? No, 160,000. Out of those, more than 90% are small businesses, under 50 employees. So 145,000 of you make this 300 billion economy grow like nothing else. So to me, you being here today is a testament to all of our partners coming together in the community, all of us seeing a vision for the future that will make us be the top economy in the world one day. That's what I believe, and I'm so grateful for your vision here, your eagerness to grow and be here, whether or not you're in Fairfax County or somewhere else in Northern Virginia or Greater Washington region. But this is really a moment, and I'm happy to be here with you tonight, and thank you, Tin, for having us.
Thank you, Anna, and congratulations on a great year. I know you and Victor and team are just amazing, everything you guys are doing. Next, I'd like to bring up the President and CEO of the Northern Virginia Tech Council, Jen Taylor, off the heels of an amazing event last week, the Tech 100 Spectacular. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And Jen's a great partner of ours, and she is a big reason, you know, Anna talks about the growth here. Jen has a lot to do with it too. Jen.
Thank you. I think this is my third event here. First, I want to thank Anna for sharing all those great stats. FCEDA is a business partner of the Northern Virginia Tech Council, and CONNECTpreneur is what we consider our entrepreneurship partner. For those of you who don't know what the Northern Virginia Technology Council is, I just want to take a moment to let you know. We are the trade association representing Northern Virginia's tech community. We've been in business for 34 years. We are the nation's leading and largest tech councils. We serve tech companies and companies within the tech ecosystem, ranging from Fortune 100 companies, government contractors, service providers, academic institutions, and nonprofits, and as well as startups. We have over 475 members, and they look to us, our council, for networking and education opportunities, peer-to-peer community of interest opportunities, which, by the way, tomorrow we're launching our space tech community, 8:30 in the morning over at LMI, and we're super excited about that. We also foster strategic relationships, so if you're looking to expand your network for your business, seek business opportunities, we're a great place to start. And then also, together with like organizations like FCEDA and the other EDAs in the area, because Northern Virginia includes 4 major counties and cities, such as Loudoun, Arlington, Prince William, and Fairfax as well. So I want to just share with you some exciting news that has to do with a research report that we worked with McKinsey and Company this past summer. And we just had a webinar to unveil the study findings, and it was called Hidden in Plain Sight, Northern Virginia Emerges as a Tech Powerhouse. And I want you all to consider this, that the companies here, the startups here, the innovation here is all contributing to making Northern Virginia one of the nation's leading tech hubs in the nation. We are not a mirror of Silicon Valley. We are unique with our own strengths and identity. So consider this. This region has the second highest tech employment of any U.S. metro area with 376,000 tech occupation workers. So that's 11.2% of the workforce. We have the largest data center market in the world, and that's 2 times the inventory of the next largest market and 5 times that of Silicon Valley. Compared with our peer-level tech hubs, our region boasts 2.5 times more computer science graduates. And we also have the highest density of high growth companies, which means it's the number of firms with greater than 2 million per 1,000 firms. So that lines up with what Anna was saying. And then we also know Virginia ranked number one, I think it's for the second or third time, with CNBC's annual list of American top states for business. So I just wanted to share all of that with you. We have a 30-some page report with findings that we're happy to share with you. If you go visit nvtc.org, you can download the report for free, and you can dive into the various aspects that we looked at: talent, the ecosystem, the fact that we're close to the federal government and why that is driving so much of our economy and things of that nature. So I want to thank TN for being our startup partner, and good luck to all of the presentations today. And I look forward to chatting with you outside.
Thanks, Jen. Congratulations on the great work you've done. Is it 4 years now, Jen, for you? 4 years. And I know this is not your grandpa or grandma's NVTC, because she has done a great job righting the ship in terms of financial and membership and just re-energizing it. I don't know if you guys came to Tech 100 last week, but it was something like, we're not used to seeing. So thank you for that. Next up, we have Jared Sloan with NVC, which, if you guys don't know what NVC is, it's the rebrand for the Northern Virginia Chamber. They did a great job with that. Congratulations. Come on up and say a few words. They're also our partner, so we partnered with them for many years on Virginia. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you very much. First of all, quick shout out to all the green jackets in the room. All right, so time is money, so I'll endeavor to be brief. And I'm here on behalf of my boss, Julie Coons. She's the CEO of the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, the NVC. So thank you very much for having us here tonight. For the last 100 years, the NVC has been fighting for a pro-business ecosystem here in the greater Washington area. And we're really excited to be partners with all of you here now, whether or not you're located or doing business here in the greater Washington area. With 400 members and over about 500,000 employees here in the region, we really see ourselves as the voice of business here locally. So, whether or not that's advocating for pro-business or pro-business policies or just bringing people together, our role is to support the strategies of the folks here in this room. Your growth is this groundbreaking innovation. And, what's really fascinating as a former entrepreneur myself, right? You are all aware all of our members were at one point, right? Every business starts at some place. They start right where you are here today. And so it's really exciting to be here with you. The NVC stands ready to support you by opening doors, amplifying, your voice, or simply tackling the issues that challenge growth. So I invite you to join us, or at least consider us to be part of your strategy. What things that Julie and I like to say is that if you're doing business in Greater Washington, we're working for you. Thank you very much, and good luck.
Thanks, Jared. Okay. We have an update coming up from Tom Weithman, who's the Managing Director of Virginia Venture Partners. And then after that, we're going to have 12 pitches, 4.5 minutes. I do want to thank all of our sponsors and partners. They're in here. I also want to thank our awesome host committee. You guys are phenomenal, and all their beautiful pictures are in the book. But I want to thank Fairfax County Economic Development Authority, Refraction, Modus Create, Forvis Mazars, TEDCO, Next, powered by Shulman Rogers, NFP, AEG, NVC. You can save the applause till... It's okay. The lion doesn't care what the lamb thinks. I know. Buzzy Rocket, NVTC, Georgetown Entrepreneurship, Entrepreneurs Organization, EO, New York Life, Asian American Chamber, Blue Venture Investors, Annual Wharton DC Summit, the Maryland Tech Council, Keiretsu Forum, Citrine Angels, Startup Grind, the Smith School of Business, and the Dingman Angels, Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship, FITSE, Malloy Industries, Enterprise Transformation Solutions, Michael Smith Business Development, thank you, Mike, Conscious Venture Labs, Institute for Excellence in Sales, Baltimore Angels, Founder Institute, and Ryan and Wetmore. Let's give it up for those guys, please. Thank you guys so much. Okay, to kick things off, I'd like to introduce you guys to a man who you don't need an introduction because everybody's pitching you for money. Come on up, Tom. Tom's going to give an update on, they've got some great stuff happening, so we want to hear all about it. Thank you, Tom Weithman.
Thank you, Tian. I appreciate it. I just can't think of anywhere I'd rather be or anyone I would rather be with than Tian Wong. Tian is our venture investor investment committee member for life on our tech committee. He's been with us for a number of years, helping us to pick through the deals and make good investments and give great guidance to people if they're not quite ready for investments. So Tian, thanks so much for your years of support. There have been so many great things said tonight by preceding speakers about what's gone on in the Commonwealth of Virginia, some of the great honors that has been received that are clearly quantifiable. A couple things that haven't been mentioned. We were ranked 10th, I think, by NVCA this year for venture capital. The first year we've achieved that in something like 14 or 15 years to have ranked in that echelon. And that number was particularly important to me because of what we've been trying to do at VIPC for a number of years. Now, if you still drive out by the Dulles Toll Road, you still see that funny looking upside down building with CIT on the top. The upside down building. And there's a special geometric shape, but I don't know what it is. I'm not that smart, but that's what's left of CIT. And CIT turned the corner. It was reestablished as the Virginia Innovation Partnership Corporation just a handful of years ago by the General Assembly and pulled in some additional assets from centers of excellence. So we've been able to grow it through other external resources that we've acquired as well. But if you look at VIPC, we have a number of centers of excellence across the Commonwealth in manufacturing, in the life sciences, among others. And we've built on the legacy programs that we've had a grant program that is focused on investing in the entrepreneurial ecosystem in various centers of excellence and entrepreneurship centers around the Commonwealth. We've invested in developing a strategic roadmap for technology within Virginia. We continue to invest through the CCF program, the Commonwealth Commercialization Fund, to give companies that first early boost of non-dilutive capital. And then you get the bad guys like us who will bring dilutive capital to market. Well, not really. We've just had a great time doing this. And this summer we celebrated the 20th anniversary of our first investment. And probably Tian and I are the only two people in the room that could name that company, but I won't test you on that. So we've been at this for a long time and started from very humble beginnings as we were able to commandeer $300,000 from a grant program, but we've built that over time to an order of magnitude beyond that. And now flash forward 20 years, we've invested in over 300 companies. We have leveraged $2 billion, and what that means is that we have assisted companies because companies raise the funds, companies build themselves, but we've worked with companies to bring about $2 billion of private capital onto their balance sheets in that 300 company portfolio. We're very, very excited about that. We're also very excited now to be Virginia's manager for the SSBCI program, the venture capital program here in Virginia. And for those that don't have the insider playbook, that's the state small business credit initiative, funds made available from the Treasury Department. We were first able to get our arms around some of these funds in the Obama years, 2009, 2010, as part of the Jobs Act. We had $19 million into the Commonwealth. We received $3 million as a drop down to do venture investment, to invest directly in companies along with our mandate. Flash forward to the Recovery Act, and that $19 million went to $225 million, and that $3 million to our fund became $175 million. That doesn't come all at once, but it comes tranched to us as a function of performance over a multi-year period, a decade-long period. So what this has meant for us is greatly expanded what we've been able to do from an investment standpoint. Well, we've had 20 years of experience as direct allocator. Now, for the first time, we're investing in funds. And earlier this year, with the Virginia Invest Initiative, we announced 7 of those funds. We're very excited to be looking at some additional funds for prospective investment as we enter 2025. And we've been able to invest in more companies and write somewhat larger checks so we can play a little bit further down the growth trajectory of companies with which we become engaged. So it's all very exciting and extremely satisfying to have been a part of this. You know, I spoke on a panel some weeks back, and I made probably a silly comment. I said, gee, I'd love to be doing this another 50 years to see how it all turns out. And maybe I will be. Maybe I will be. I don't know. But the thing is, it never turns out. This continues to evolve. And if you can imagine, I remember years ago driving up to Dulles Airport, parking in the lot in front, and walking right to the back and catching an airplane. Well, those days are gone. The region has expanded so tremendously, and it's just been exciting to be a part of it with such wonderful partners. And now I'll get off the stage before you get the hook to you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, bro. Thank you so much, Tom. All right. So amazing, by the way, what you guys are doing. 300 companies, did you say? How about 312? Huh? All right. We got 12 presenters, 4.5 minutes. Bay right here in the red is going to be timing. To introduce the first 6, I'd like to bring up Will Choi. Will is an assurance partner at the firm of Forvis Mazars. Forvis merged with Mazars about 6 months ago. And Will, thank you so much for your sponsorship and for Ling's support. And Will will introduce our first 6 presenters. Here you go. Thank you.
Okay, so our first presenter is going to be Sue Carr with Cartech. Cartech Corp believes that it's developed a safer, quicker, more efficient way to prepare injectable medication packaged in glass ampoules. Hopefully I pronounced that word correctly.
On November 22nd, 2018, at 8 o'clock in the morning, I was responding to a code in the emergency room. I had to filter life-saving medication for a critical patient because it was packaged in a glass ampule. What felt like an eternity ticked by as I frantically searched for a filter needle, as everybody watched, waited, and stared. I knew then and there I had to fix this problem. I'm Sue Carr, clinical hospital pharmacist, president, founder, and CEO of Cartech Corp. I'm here today to make sure no glass shards ever enter your bloodstream. If you've ever been to the hospital or ever had surgery, there's a high probability you've received medication packaged in glass ampules. They're sealed containers of medicine. They're cheap, readily available, stable for a longer period of time, and tamper-proof. But there's one big problem. To access a medication, you have to snap the neck. And when you do that, over 70% of the time, glass shards enter into the ampule and contaminate the medication. Therefore, it needs to be filtered before it can be administered to the patient. If not filtered properly, internal bleeding can occur into the lungs or stomach, and possibly death. Imagine the opportunity for mistake and the added stress in an emergency situation when every second counts. Some of the common meds include lidocaine, morphine, and every newborn receives vitamin K in a glass ampule. As you can see, there's 8 complicated steps to filtering those glass shards. I've highlighted in red where almost 50% of all needle stick injuries occur. It's costing healthcare workers and hospitals over $2 billion to treat annually, and wasted preparation time is another $3 billion. But that all ends today. The solution is Frog. It's a simple all-in-one package, one needle filter device of its kind. We have 3 U.S. patents, a Canadian patent, and a PCT. And we anticipate more PCTs in 2025. And those complicated problems have been eliminated to 4 simple steps. Cart Frog is a cost-effective, streamlined filter that assures no glass shards are going to enter the bloodstream, practically eliminates needle stick injuries, and in half the time. The ampules are not going anywhere. They're growing at a CAGR of 9.9%. And just in hospitals in the United States alone, we intend to capture a $500 million marketplace. When Frog hits a market, Cartech will have the only all-in-one package, one needle filter device in the world. The manufacturing, storage, and distribution is currently being outsourced. We're going to follow the same channels the hospital is using, including the GPOs and the IDNs. We are currently raising a bridge round of $1 million. One more stop to the FDA. We submitted, and then we should be approved. We've already got requests from very large military hospital in the area. And we're almost there. These are some of our milestones. Most importantly is we submitted a 510K Class 2 in February. We have to just conduct 2 more tests and we should be approved by mid 2025, by spring of 25. And this time next year, we should be on the market selling. My amazing team of veteran pharmacists, R&D specialists, and business execs that have been there, done that. Big companies in Virginia, yay Virginia, we used to, and I want to thank Tien Wong and CONNECTpreneur for all of our village of supporters that have been here with us and supported our track. So are you ready to take the leap? Join CARTech in improving healthcare for all, ensuring no glass shards are going to enter the bloodstream, reducing needle stick injuries, and saving lives. Thank you very much.
Okay. Our next presenter is Human Banai. He's the founder, CEO of Everix Inc. Everix enables mass deployment of compact personal health and technology devices with features that were not affordable in the past.
All right, so I'm here to tell you the story of the most compact and the most scalable optical filters in the world. So we're switching gears a little bit, manufacturing of nanotechnology stuff. So, but let me tell you first what optical filters are so the rest of the conversation makes sense. So what you see on this side is actually a piece of optical filter. It's a nano-layered material that has about 1,000 nanolayers in it. And what it does is that it splits the spectrum of light. Parts of the light spectrum are blocked, other parts are transmitted through. And it turns out that these little optical components, they have applications across 15 different industries, literally thousands of different applications. Like this smartwatch in the future with the right type of optical filter is going to detect cancer. It's going to detect, multiple infectious diseases. AR/VR headsets with the right type of optical filter are going to look more sleek, lighter weight, much more compact, and many, many other applications. Just as one example, AR/VR headsets, we have identified 15 different ways that Everix optical filters can actually improve AR/VR headsets. So how do we do this? The old way of making optical filters was a process called vacuum coating. Very, very expensive. The product comes out very bulky. It's always in the rigid, flat geometry. What we do is that we have basically, we were inspired by the process that optical fibers were manufactured in these millions of miles, right? So scalable, so inexpensively, we translated that into a way of making nano-layered optical filters with the same type of scalability, and the product also comes out significantly more compact than the traditional ones. So lots of different markets, many, many applications. We have picked medtech devices and life science applications and robotic sensors as our beachhead markets. And in those two beachhead markets, we are the components manufacturer. And we also have, IP strategies around other market segments and strategic partnerships that we're forming. So we've got a vision to build $1 billion business out of this. Initially, we are building a profitable business out of our beachhead markets by selling our standard and quasi-standard filters. And so that alone can actually make a $30, $40, $50, $100 million revenue business. But on the top of that, markets such as AR/VR, they have the potential to basically get us to $1 billion type status. And markets such as eyewear, consumer eyewear, specialty eyewear, for example, for reducing the risk of migraine headache, those type of markets can bring us to $1 billion type revenue. So we've got a team of roughly 20 people. What you see there is our management team. Jess actually has about 25 years of experience, 20 plus years of experience in selling optical components. Carlina is a former VC I myself, I come from a manufacturing business with some 500 employees, making a lot of equipment and really good team. So where we are as a company, we started in a humble garage, and now we've actually developed a full manufacturing facility for proof of concept, prototyping. We're ISO certified. So we've done our full product market fit analysis and everything. We've got 7-figure cumulative revenue, really good customers, Fortune 50 names on our customer list. And we're raising the funds now to get to profitability. And after this phase, we'll be raising strategic funds to develop our volume manufacturing facility. All right, so $3 million of bridge to profitability round. More than half of it is already invested. And we're hoping that we can finish this round out this month. And we've added some really lucrative warrants to incentivize our investors to invest this month. All right, so as a summary, a company with 37 patents, multiple Fortune 50 customers on our customer list, and we're the best and the most compact and the most scalable optical filters in the world. Thank you so much for your time.
Our next presenter is David Gall, the CEO of RallyPoint. RallyPoint is the U.S. military veteran online network with 2 million members, 45 billion data points. So I'll let you tell your story about RallyPoint.
Hello, everyone. I am Dave Gowell, the CEO of RallyPoint, and I'm here to tell you about a company that I think should be very important to everybody in this room. The problem that RallyPoint solves as the military's online social network is the fact that many of the people serving our country or that have served deal with life challenges because of that military service. And unfortunately, a lot of those life challenges go unresolved, which lead to tragic situations where there's suicides, there's overdoses, or other deaths of despair that are preventable. A major reason why this audience is not helped in the way that they should be is because MilVets, as we refer to them, are not likely to talk to their bosses or their doctors about their life challenges. It's not part of the military culture, but they do talk to their friends, their peers. So our solution is RallyPoint, a military online network that kind of feels like a Facebook or a LinkedIn or a Quora or a Reddit, but it's focused on the military and veteran community, and it is already at 2 million members. It's already at 45 billion data points about MilVet life, and we already have a paper published in the Journal of Psychological Medicine about how we're using AI to identify and intervene with suicide risk. We make money by selling ads, and we sell AI services. In the top left of the screen, you see an ad from the VA that is on our site, promoting what they pay us to get in front of our audience in a trusted way. And the paper that I mentioned is on the lower left that was funded by the Air Force from the Small Business Innovation Research Program to drive the ability to find people who are struggling and help them before it's too late. Also, as a government contractor, we have multiple paths to being able to sell into the government, which is not only required, but we have attractive paths, which I'll get to soon. The market is large and growing. The government spends enormous amounts of money on this audience without the desired outcomes. We identify about $11 billion of the over $1 trillion the VA and DoD spend on national defense and taking care of veterans. So $11.3 billion is what we can target. And I've already mentioned we've got 2 million members proving the stickiness and the value of our platform, but there's 54 million service members, veterans, family members, caregivers, and survivors. So we have room for growth. Although we have no direct competitors, we do compete in the market for revenue from civilian sites like Facebook or Google or other advertisers and other consulting firms that provide AI services. But we have things they don't. We have this remarkable amount of data that is growing naturally every day for free. We have the ability at a low cost to go out and get new data at a very low cost because of the authentic content our members create. And we have contract vehicles that large companies cannot compete to win, but they can only acquire companies like us or partner with us to benefit from them. We're profitable with a $3.3 million revenue run rate. We've partnered with a lot of companies that could also become our future acquirers. And this year, we're fortunate to add Dawn Halfacre, who is invested in our business. She joined our board, and she's a very successful entrepreneur in our space who is now helping us to make sure that we focus and grow this business the right way for the population that we all serve. Our team is small but mighty, made up of domain expertise and people passionate about this cause. My own personal story, I'm an Army veteran, and my father was a veteran who died by suicide when I was 7. So I share that not because I want your charity. I want you to know that we are very focused on making this company successful for a lot of good reasons and doing well by doing good. That team got this company profitable for about a 2-year period up until middle of last year when a big government contract that we're on stopped unexpectedly. We have learned a lot from that experience. We brought in people like Don Halfacre. We've regained profitability and now have over $40 million in our 6-month contract pipeline, where most of that is with us as a prime contractor. So the ask, which somehow got left out, which is pretty important, is we're raising a $3 million equity round. And that round is one that is over half either funded or committed. And part of the benefit of this round is the first $2 million of that $3 million has match revenue coming from the Air Force under the contract that got us that suicide prevention paper. So I invested in Raleigh Point this year with a bunch of great other investors. I invite you to do the same. Thank you very much.
Okay, our next presenter is Jonathan Cohen of 2020 Gene Systems. 2020 Gene Systems is a clinical laboratory test developer focused on AI-powered blood tests for the early detection, prevention of cancers and chronic diseases.
Good evening. 2020 is a Maryland-based clinical lab testing company with a focus on early cancer detection. Earlier in my life, I was a volunteer firefighter, and our company began providing various products to emergency responders nationwide. But about 10 years ago, it became clear, based on observational studies as well as empirical studies, that firefighters have higher incidence and death for a variety of cancers. So we migrated into this field. The most deadly cancers, those of the pancreas, lung, liver, ovarian, do not have screening widely available. We only screen in the United States for a handful of cancers: breast, colon, prostate, and cervical. So we became, right now we are the #2 market leader in a fast-growing field called multi-cancer early detection, or MCEDS. We compete with a large, high-profile company called Grail, but instead of testing DNA, we test proteins, which is a much more affordable, accessible, and accurate way to screen for multiple cancers. Our tests start at under $200. In comparison, Grail's test is about $1,000. And the evidence to date, we participated in a blinded validation study with U.S. National Cancer Institute over the summer, and our test was at about 24 MCEDs. Ours was the 3rd most accurate, and we expect to be included in randomized clinical trials sponsored by NCI next year. Furthermore, we require smaller quantities of blood, which allows our test to be accessed with devices like the one I'm holding in my hand painlessly from the upper arm, avoiding painful needles, visits to clinics. So about 2/3 of our customers are opting for capillary collection at home. And we are about, next month, we will actually be doing a pilot at Giant Pharmacies in Montgomery County, 7 stores, and that will scale if that is successful. So again, easier to access, more affordable, and more accurate for early stage cancers, stages 1 and 2, than the DNA-based competitors. This market is exploding. We've enjoyed about 11 consecutive quarters of growth, year-over-year revenue growth, line of sight to profitability, and we expect Congress, as early as this week, as part of the must-pass continuing resolution, to pass a bill that will authorize CMS, Medicare, to cover MCEDs. So that is going to create a stampede of interest. And as a result of that, we are looking to scale. A little under 20,000 tests to date. I mentioned line of sight to profitability, high year-over-year reorder rate. So it's not a one and done. About 40% of our customers are testing yearly. This shows our revenue growth. We see that continuing. A little over 2 million this year. That's about double from last year, B2B and B2C. And we have a companion test coming out next month that looks at biomarkers of inflammation, chronic inflammation, which is responsible for about 8 of the 10 leading causes of death in America. That is a very good fit for supermarkets like Giant because it's going to recommend specific diet and lifestyle changes to lower biomarker values and associated disease risk. So we, in order to scale, because of this anticipated legislation that will pass, in order to stay ahead of, keep our position as right now the number 2 market leader, we are looking at an initial public offering in the new year. We are looking to do a $3 million convertible debt round into the IPO. Have a lot. I was in New York just last week. A lot of interest from various banks, the exchanges, IPO investors, etc. So, if you also are interested in getting our test, we have some here. You can get a discount and avoid shipping charges. We have about a half a dozen here, so you can get the test tonight at our booth. Thank you very much.
Okay, our next presenter is Jim Deere, the founder, CEO of Emiropex. Emiropex will provide public and private crisis managers a persistent environment for experimentation and rehearsal that immerses their operators in crisis action scenarios, pre-mortems, and then decomposes them to understand causality.
Emiropex is a pre-seed, pre-revenue startup. I want to make that very clear starting up. So what we try to do is do pre-mortems. We try to recreate a crisis before it happens using full diverse reality as well as data science. We're looking at issues like this. How do you recreate an environment like a school shooting? What happened today, by the way? And how do you decompose it to find out what you can do to prevent it from happening in the real world, or mitigate the effects? Crisis managers are always worried about how do you prepare for a crisis before it happens. I'm not talking about training. I'm talking about figuring out what procedures or what new technologies, what operational capabilities might prevent the event from happening or mitigate its effects. And they have a number of ways of looking at this right now. Some use Monte Carlo simulations, data simulations. The problem with this, no human beings are involved. Others use tabletop exercises, glorified seminars. And finally, you do real-world exercises or real-world field events. And they're very limited in what they can do, very hard to control and manage. All these various approaches have their limitations. So what Emiropex is, it combines data science and what we call full diverse reality technology, totally immersing the operators in the environment, recreate an environment so real that it's almost traumatic, and decompose it mathematically, understand what causes what to happen, produce data to make sure those events don't happen in the real world. There's a large intersecting market related to what we're trying to do, primarily crisis management as well as insurance crisis management. There are a variety of competitors out there selling VR components. We sell an integrated capability that's patent pending called a full diverse reality unit. In addition to that, multiple companies use VR for training. Very few, if any, are using VR for crisis pre-mortems, recreating events before they happen. We're doing a lot of different things right now to raise funds, but I'd like to emphasize one thing. I'm raising money to do a pilot on school safety in Texas. And we're doing a demonstration of the capability, a product demonstration in Houston on 16 January with real law enforcement officers participating in an active shooter scenario. There's my team. There's 200 years of experience cutting across data science, VR, hardware, software, and so on. I have a group of advisors, very eclectic. You know I have a retired Major General. He's meeting with a military command in Houston right now to generate interest within DOD. We also have interest in the insurance industry, crisis management insurance in particular. I'm asking for 1 point. I didn't remember my ask chart here, just so you know, very important. But you have revenue, you're different. But I'm asking for 1.5 million to fund the school safety pilot that will shape and promote and market the business. We expect to have revenue up to $50 to $60 million in the next 5 or 6 years, starting with the pilot, which will generate revenue as soon as we're done. America's PEX is a crisis pre-mortem to understand why things happen. And that's my co-founder, Izzy Kohler, Dean Sawicki. They're the ones that helped make this thing happen. And we're anxious to raise money to do the school safety pilot, to look at issues going on right now in the newspapers. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Kelly Mottet. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. She's the COO of Mach 32. Mach 32 it's developed a EpiPen for trauma. So
at Mach 32, we stop patients from bleeding to death. 9% of the worldwide population dies every year due to traumatic injury. And the number one thing that we can do to save lives following trauma is to stop bleeding. There are 9 million EMS calls every year for traumatic injury. Bleeding is the leading cause of preventable death. Bleeding is also the leading cause of preventable death on the battlefield. And we lose more than 200 women every day due to postpartum hemorrhage or bleeding after childbirth. So one of the tools in our toolkit to control bleeding is a generic IV medication called tranexamic acid, or TXA for short. It is clinically proven to decrease the risk of death by over 30% if it's delivered quickly within the first hour. If it's delivered immediately at the point of injury, up to a 70% improvement in survival. Those are odds that we would all take if we were in an accident. The problem is less than 5% of eligible patients actually receive this drug. So why so few patients? It's because this drug is difficult to deliver and requires an IV. Setting up an IV is not something that's easy to do in the pre-hospital environment. It takes time and skill. What this means is we're losing soldiers, accident victims, and mothers simply because we can't deliver a life-saving medication quickly enough. We have a delivery problem. At Mach 32, we're solving this delivery problem, making TXA fast and easy to deliver. The key to our solution is a proprietary optimized TXA formulation for intramuscular delivery. The first product that we'll take to market in 2027 is a pre-filled syringe containing our proprietary formulation. This will be used by trained users. Think military medics, advanced care paramedics. But what we're really excited about is our auto-injector. Think of this as an EpiPen, but for traumatic bleeding. It's simple and easy to use without medical training. That means people like you or me, I don't have any medical training, can use this to save lives if needed. Our TXA auto-injector is called IM-Safe. We have tested it with Defense Research and Development Canada. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And we show that we outperform the current standard of care, which is IV. We get to therapeutic concentrations faster and we last longer. So quicker than standard of care and last longer. We're following a proven phased approach to go to market, starting with the military. The military is early adopters of trauma products, followed by first responders, think firefighters, police officers, medics, and then civilians. Like I mentioned, people like you and me can use this device to save lives when called upon. So we have significant traction from end users. We just announced a $750,000 award from BARDA it's an R&D contract to develop our technology. Part of this contract involves working with a US DoD lab, Combat Trauma Research Group. I've already mentioned a collaboration with Defense Research and Development Canada, and we've done usability testing in a simulated mass casualty incident in the UK. This is the team that's making this happen. You've met myself. This is my third medtech startup that I've been a part of. Co-founder is Dr. Mark Curiel. He's an emergency room physician who came up with the concept for this device. In terms of what we're looking for, we're raising $500,000 on a convertible note. We already have $100,000 in from Alliance of Angels, which is in Seattle. This These funds will be combined with the 750 BARDA award for a total of 1.25 million in product development, helping us hit key regulatory and product development milestones. And I'll just leave you with this. I shared what the incidence of trauma is, 9%. Given the size of this room, I would venture a very strong bet that in the future, somebody in this room will use our device to save a life. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to bring up, by the way, the first 6 presenters were awesome, and we have 6 more awesome presenters, and every presenter has a table out front, so make sure you, if you're interested in chatting with them or investing, please do engage with them. To introduce our next 6, I'd like to bring up Anthony Millen. Anthony is a longtime supporter and partner of CONNECTpreneur. He is the founder and chair of Next, powered by Shulman Rogers, which is the nation's leading law firm for startups, and they have won numerous awards from American Lawyer, Legal Times. The list is pretty substantial, so congrats on that. Question, who in the room is raising capital right now? It's a lot. How many of you are on the My Next Raise platform for investor readiness? We got a couple, okay. So Anthony, come on up and tell us a little bit about Next and the My Next Raise platform, which, by the way, guys, is something that a lot of CONNECTpreneur companies are on. It is a unique platform that integrates a bunch of different technologies for early stage companies that really need to become investor ready. So Anthony, thank you for all your support.
Great. So first, a big thank you to Tian, Skylar, and the entire CONNECTpreneur team for all of your leadership and service to our startup ecosystem. You play a critical role in this incredible ecosystem we're all part of and help really drive it forward. And on behalf of the Next team, we are honored to be a longtime sponsor and supporter of CONNECTpreneur. Everything we do at Next, powered by Shulman Rogers, is driven by our mission, which is to empower startup success. And we partner with you to de-risk your startup at the earliest stages via a broad range of fixed price legal packages in our Next Launch program. And we layer on top of that various value-added services like Startup U, our partner marketplace, our latest platform, which Tien mentioned, which is all around investor readiness, called My Next Raise, which is now in beta with over 160 founders. And as you grow, Next provides later stage growth legal services for Series A through exit. And for our fundraising clients, our fixed fee seed financing package coupled with My Next Raise, Pitch Masters, which is our pitch prep workshop, and our founder funder events and investor office hours really support and enhance the fundraising process. And in our first year of our founder funder events, we hosted 350 founders, 50 VC funds and angel groups, and led to over 250 one-on-one investor meetings. And all of these unique and innovative offerings have earned Next the 2024 Legal Week Award for the best law firm in the US for enabling startup success, which we were very excited with this year. For more information, you can visit us at www.next.law and also www.mynextraise.com. So now I would like to introduce NeuroEM. NeuroEM's first-of-its-kind device offers a safe, effective, and non-invasive approach to treating neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's, and protecting brain health throughout the aging process. Please welcome Chuck Papagiorgio, CEO of NeuroEM.
I'm here to tell you a story. How I went from being a tech AI multiple exit entrepreneur to building a damn medtech company. The toughest thing I've ever done. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. This is my friend Marty. I have permission to use a name. Marty was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 83. Spent 2 years declining. Her daughter decided not to give her any medication because some of them are absolutely terrifying side effects. She's not alone. 500,000 Americans every year. By the time I'm done here, there'll be 5 people that got diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And 7 million Americans. If you're 60 years old, you got a 20% chance you're going to get Alzheimer's. And you know, I keep pushing the wrong button. There are treatments out there. Some of them are legitimate, and some of them are snake oil. Like if you go buy crystals on Amazon to cure Alzheimer's, please call me. Don't do it. The problem with some of them is they slow the disease down. They don't stop it, they don't cure it. This is Marty when she entered the program. The red line would have been what happened if she had no treatment. The blue line would have been the antibody therapy. Slight side effects like brain hemorrhage and death, but you know, who's counting, right? But this is what actually happened. What happened was, not only did we slow down the progression of the disease, we literally stopped it and reversed it. And I gotta tell you, that's the reason that I got into this business, by the way, and I get goosebumps because I get pictures from Marty, her daughter, every month. Last month, she sent me her pictures from her 90th birthday. She entered the program scoring 56 on the 1 to 100 cognitive scale. She did the test at 90 and scored 94, which is normal for a 90-year-old, for somebody who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 4 years ago. Now, if I only had Marty, you'd be like, okay, get out of here. One data point doesn't make a trend. We actually ran a clinical trial, and this is what happened. 8 people, 7 of them had exactly the same experience. Tracked many months later, maintained the same performance. This is real. Now, we don't sell crystals, by the way. We use a technology, and if you really want to know, I can get really nerdy about it, but it's called transcranial electromagnetic therapy through radio frequencies. It's basically a way of shooting short bursts of ultra-high frequency power into the brain that breaks down the amyloid plaques and the A-beta misfolded proteins that cause Alzheimer's. 7 years, $9 million, 9 granted patents. I lost count how many PCTs we got. Selected as a FDA breakthrough designation and picked as one of the 30 companies in the Alzheimer's Moonshot Project. Not a small set of accomplishments. We took over because our goal is to bring this to market. Do good and do well. This is a big market. It's a $500 billion market. Any way you slice it, just the nootropics alone is a multi-billion-dollar market. We're not building a small company. My goal is to sell 30,000 devices in 3 years. Now put that in a percentage. You can't, it's too small of the market we're trying to get. Those devices, 30,000 devices in 3 years, generate $100 million in gross margin. I don't need anybody's money to continue my research if I get to that stage. Now, I always tell my team there's a fine line between a vision and a hallucination. And the only way a CEO can prevent that from happening is with a kick-ass team. And I do. It's not often I walk into a room and I feel like I'm the dumbest guy in the room. But my medical advisor board, they all have multiple PhDs and MDs and a brain surgeon. So I'm about a lowly engineer. But we're all nerds and we all care about the science. Our timeline is 18 months. We're raising money right now to get a product to market in the next 18 months as a wellness device that we can sell before we get the official designation for Alzheimer's treatment from the FDA, because the breakthrough designation they gave us doesn't cover that. We're breaking into 2 pieces, $5 million to get to market, and the next round will be determined on our pre-orders. We don't know what the number is. It might be a lot more than 5 million based on people that are willing to write me a $25,000 check today to buy a device, and I can't sell them one. Now, in the end, that's the line that gets me every time from Marty's daughter, and that's why I'm doing this. And on a personal level, I think I'm going to live to be 90. What the hell's the point of being 90 if you can't use your brain, right? That's it. If you want to know more about it, I'll be outside. Thank you very much.
I would now like to introduce Ovala. Ovala's focus has been to empower women to take back their healthcare through innovation. The company has taken the next step by developing a medically proven technologies approach in women's health that was once only available under physician's care through innovation, taking it directly to the end user. Please welcome Steve Bollinger, CEO of Ovala.
Hello. Ovala is the company name. We're a medical device company. we focus on women's health. So what's a dude talking about women's health? I've sold my last 4 medical companies, and the last one is the one that got my wife and I pregnant. So I'm an ex-military vet. I had fertility issues. My wife had 7 miscarriages. I took over it, and she was the first prototype to get me our 2 children, which cost me a fortune. And that drove me to create Ovala because guess what? Now every time my wife coughs, sneezes, or dances, she tinkles in her pants. So we had to solve that, right? So stress urinary incontinence is the disease state I'm working on, okay? And it's unintentional loss of urine. And the problem is the connective tissue can no longer support the urethra. It's simple, right? But what I love about this disease state, if you can love one, is the physiological issue I can solve. But what is most important is, and equally important, is the psychological impact. These women have depression, they have a loss of quality of life, and a diminished sense of freedom. Everybody knows someone that has this. So how big is this marketplace? 1/3 of women between 30 and 60 have this. Did you know that? 80% are more likely to develop clinically diagnosed depression. As a husband, that sucks. So I had to fix it. 18 million women are diagnosed every year by healthcare providers that have this, and there's another 23 million women over 50 that have pelvic organ prolapse. Our product solves that. Everybody knows someone that has this. So what's standard of care? Pads. It's a $2.2 billion standalone business led by Procter & Gamble and Kimberly-Clark. The problem is they're odorous, and they're discomfort, and they cause chafing, right? The next opportunity under a healthcare provider are pessaries. They look like Rubik's Cubes to Dunkin' Donuts. The problem is you can't have intercourse with them. When men jacked up on Viagra, it's not a good solution, right? Physical therapy, poor compliance, long pass, slow results, and surgical intervention is true to the last minion. So what I said is, could I take a medically proven approach, pessaries, through innovation, take them directly to the consumer? I created a product called Revive. We are already through the FDA. We did a US clinical study at the Cleveland Clinic, Penn Medical, and a few others, and we're already FDA authorized for both RX and the first product to be OTC. It's simple. It's tampon-like application, placement, and removal. So what makes this unique and novel is the unique physiology of the vaginal tract. We were able to figure out that the dual ring design in the distal taper creates a product that one size fits most. Amazing. Next thing is, how do we use it? It's a daily use product, right? They put it in the morning, they leave it in all day, they're dry. At the end of the day, like a tampon, you pull it out, you wash part of it, throw part of it out, and you recycle for the next morning. It's $1 a day. So we have 3 distribution options. We are in Amazon today, Walmart. We have our own website. We're expanding into healthcare providers. They can make money and make a difference in their practice. There are 3 CPT codes that they can make money off of selling our product. So we're expanding there, and I'm using this raise of a Series B to get back into retail. Target and Walmart, 70% of pads and liners are purchased there. They want us in their store. So we've sold, by word of mouth, the Braille method, over 100,000 units today. We have general feedback. We have 2,500 reviews on Amazon, and basically it says, it changed my life. It changed my life too. It doesn't just impact her, it impacts me. I'm much healthier. She's much happier, right? We have over 70% margins. Everything's made in the United States today. We have profitability to the retailer, and the retailer has profitability to them, and the healthcare providers can make money. Pessaries, our patents are worldwide. I have a worldwide patent portfolio on all aspects of our technology. So I de-risked it for you guys. We have a $200 million standalone market. We have FDA navigated. We have physical therapists and physician recommended. We have product line extensions. We're in revenue. We have a full portfolio. But what I love about this product is customer life value, $5,000 per customer. So once I have you for a long time. That long-term retention is very valuable. So I've put in $2 million. I self-run it. I self-phased it. We did a Series A of $5 million, and now I'm doing a Series B. I'm offering convertible notes today for people at a 25% discount with a 10% interest rate by the end of the year. I already have a lead investor. Now I'm trying to take it 18 months to 24 months like I did my other companies. I plan on selling it. And Procter & Gamble and Kimberly-Clark are already at my door. We can have an environmental impact, improve quality of life, and the bottom line, if you want financial returns, I think I can help you. If you're interested, I'm back there. And if you're interested, I got a Christmas stocking for you with a product to take home with you so you can enjoy the life that I do with my wife. Thank you.
All right. The next company I have the honor of introducing is Peak 15 Capital. The company is an exclusive CRE fund for alpha-driven returns and strategic tax benefits. Please welcome John Azar, founder and managing partner of Peak 15 Capital.
Sorry, everybody. Hi, happy holidays, everybody. Thanks for being here as opposed to being in the mall trying to get it squishy. So, my name is Johnny Azar. I'm the founder and managing partner of Peak 15 Capital. We are a private equity commercial real estate focused fund manager. When people hear commercial real estate, they think of office. We do not buy office space. I just want to clear that right off the bat. We invest with operators, developers, and we go in as a partners. And as a result, our investors get to benefit from essentially getting general partner level, principal level returns when they invest in our fund. We are finishing the raise for our current fund. It's a GP fund, and our next fund will likely be an institutional based fund only, which means it's only going to be open for pensions and endowments and hedge funds. Our fund is unique in the way that it invests in. I'm going to run through this presentation like a teenager runs through social media, so just bear with me. If you want this presentation, there's a barcode at the end that you can scan, and we're also outside in the lobby. What's going on here? There we go. Let me get to a certain slide. Here we are. I just want to get to this slide because that compares our fund to normal funds, normal LP fund, limited partner fund, and normal syndications. If any of you invested in commercial real estate before, or any syndication like an apartment syndicator was trying to raise money for buying an apartment complex or buying a retail center or strip mall, we fund those guys. So they come to us, we essentially provide money. That's what our fund does. We provide money, and then as a result of providing money, we partner with them and take a stake in that particular project, either anywhere from 15%, 10-15%, all the way up to 50 to 55% of that project. So we essentially become general partner. Is this, in a sense, our investors become partner because our investors are direct partial owners of these assets. Our fund is not like a REIT. A REIT, when you invest in a REIT, you essentially buy shares, not own the assets. Investors in our fund actually own the underlying assets partially when they invest in our fund. So hence they get the results of taxation benefit pass-throughs. And also one very important thing to note is our fund is already has assets. We have about $100 million of assets in the fund already. It's already cash flowing. It's already generating quarterly distributions to our current investors. And we expect a capital event next year. In fact, any investor who invests this year up until December 31st, they'll get the benefit on their K1 next year of any tax depreciation that we're going to pass to our investors, which is one of the biggest reasons that a lot of our investors invest in our fund and commercial real estate in general. Our fund is able to attain those returns, which are almost double the normal returns of LP funds, because essentially they are investing every dollar that investors invest in our fund is like almost investing $5, because the impact of that dollar that goes into each project, because we are on the principal level, we are attaining those level of returns. Furthermore, our fund also splits the deal fees, which are normally reserved to only the general partners in those equations with our investors, which is something that none of the funds that I know of in commercial real estate do that. So when we have an acquisition, for instance, there's a fee or an origination fee or an acquisition fee. That fee gets split with our investors 50-50. And that gets distributed on the next distribution that they have, which is in the next quarter, since we do quarterly distributions. This is kind of an overview of how we are able to attain some of those returns. And we charge a 2% asset management fee. That's pretty much the only fee that we charge. All the other fees are actually net positive to our investors, not net negative, which is, again, something that's unlikely in the commercial real estate industry. That doesn't usually happen. This is some of our current fund holdings. So any investors that would invest would have access and direct ownership of these assets. This is a 240 unit Class A asset in Dallas. We're outside of Dallas, Texas. We have a 5-location car wash portfolio that's generating about 15% cash flow. We have a value add multifamily asset in Atlanta, and we are continuing to add every day to our fund. Again, our next fund will likely be an institutional grade fund, which means that we're probably going to be raising money only from pensions and endowments. Appreciate you guys being here again, and if any of you have any questions, please scan this for the entire presentation and come see us outside on the conference table. Thanks so much.
I would now like to introduce Citata. The company is the world's first travel risk tech platform combining real-time threat intelligence, proactive safety features, and comprehensive insurance solutions to redefine global travel risk management. Please welcome Leila Atcha, CEO.
I'll correct, not CEO, but the Chief Risk Officer with a background in threat intelligence in the war zones for about 10 years. But let me start with a story. In 2023, in October, when Hamas attacked Israel, the world was thrown into chaos. Nobody knew what was going on. The media flooded with cries for help. 30 minutes into the attack, we knew what was going on. We've notified 26 foreign nationals that were at the time in Israel and 2 NGO workers that were stuck in Gaza. Because of our geofencing technology, we were able to guide them to the Egyptian border, James Bond style. Turn left, turn right, because we do have real-time assistance. We have people talking to our clients that are in a current crisis. And we're telling them how to get out of Gaza. We're telling them how to get out of a dark alleyway in Portugal or move away from the protests in Turkey where they are pepper spraying people real time. So, great, you can see what I'm... Citata is the only company right now globally that can actually act on what we believe in. We combine proactive threat intelligence and we provide financial cushion, because who else is going to cover the expenses associated with providing assistance to you? What if a family member, a niece who went to a club in Paris is kidnapped? Who is going to pay for her extraction? Who is going to evacuate and provide medical evacuation from Mogadishu for our people, our global missions that are trying to help those people and instill US interests? We provide insurance for these matters. Traditionally, such insurance like kidnap and ransom or political risk is available only to executives. We're making it available to everybody, you and me. It's a proprietary product that we lay on top of our threat intelligence system. Because we understand where the risk is, because we understand how to guide you away from the risk, we know exactly how much it will cost us to provide guidance and when to step in. We work with the global intelligence community and global missions, providing detailed reports down to the street level to understand what is going on real time. We manage risk proactively combining insurance and threat intel. And we're making an impact. Right now, the largest agency, travel agency in the UK, Thomas Cook, is using us and safeguarding their travelers. We're working with large airlines, Qatar Airlines, Etihad Airlines, MasterCard is using us to prepare their strategies. We also work with a lot of currency converting services globally. And our team is managed by fantastic individuals. Adam St. John is the CEO of this company, and he's actually the founder of this company. One of the best leaders I think I worked with. Abbas Asgharali, he led large insurance companies like Generali and Zurich, closing multi-million-dollar projects, and myself. I spent 10 years in the war zones, understanding behavior of insurgencies, and 10 years developing insurance products for the US in international markets. We are raising $3 million to scale, bring IP to the DMV area. And, this year, I promised that 2025 will be a very important year for me personally, because I want to save more lives. The world is no longer a safe place. It's unpredictable. We never know where we are going to be and what is going to happen with us or our family, whether we are going to a conference or traveling overseas. And I just want you to remember that with us, you're not alone. Thank you.
The next company I have the honor of introducing is Tradeverse. Tradeverse is a social finance, AI-driven education technology platform transforming how investors discover, engage, learn, and invest more consistently with a dynamic and collaborative approach. Please welcome Mike Herman of Tradeverse.
I've had the pleasure of meeting many of you out there, but if I haven't met you, I may look familiar to you because my face is posted on our banner up there. So my name is Michael Herman, and I am co-founder of Tradeverse, where we believe that the future of trading is social and success comes with education. There are 742 million traders worldwide. Out of those 742 million traders, almost half of them trade socially. The largest country that trades stocks is in China. The largest country that trades cryptocurrency is in India. Our go-to-market strategy directly targets these areas for market penetration within the next 5 years. The demand for social trading is exponential. On the top here, you see that these are the exchanges like StockTwits, Webull, eToro. We are the social layer on top of these different exchanges. And on the bottom, you see the general social platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. These aren't built for social trading. At Traderverse, we bring in transparency to the markets with built-in tools and resources for all traders. There's a problem with the markets today is that 80% of traders actually get their financial advice from social platforms. With that being said, $2.7 billion has been lost to social scams since 2021. We're here to bring transparency to the markets. The social trading has a problem. There's isolated and disconnected communities. There's noisy, and the current social platforms are noisy and spammy. There's mistrust and deception. There's financial illiteracy, fragmented communities, and limited data insights. Many of you have invested or currently invest, but imagine if you don't, that you currently own NVIDIA or Apple, or maybe one of these companies that IPO today, right? Traderverse really brings about discoverability where you're able to connect with those people that share the same passion and interest in these companies. You can collaborate with them with different channels of data research and information sharing. We bring credibility to the market where you can really attest to creators' authenticity and creators' content, their skills and experience, and education is one of our 4th pillars, where we democratize progressive education, allowing all traders or users to teach, learn, and monetize their financial skills. We have multiple key features, dozens of key features. One is the dynamic interface, which allows complete customization, advanced analytical tools right built within our platform, allowing real-time market data, as well as technical analysis, governance AI controls for credibility, rewards and gamification, which I'll get into here very shortly, community building. So if you want to connect with those other people that are interested and share those passions, you can build communities right within our social platform, and AI embedded education. We have built over the last 6 months really credible advisors, ranging from Benzinga and Nike and Intuit. Our team here, I'm joined by Saram Alavi, who has 11 plus years of experience with Adobe and Google. A funny story is that, the way that we came about this the ideation of this project is Saram, John, and I were actually in a trading group together, and we just saw the misinformation and the inefficiencies in the market. We came together to build this, and today we want to present to you Traderverse. Our ask is for $200,000 for 1% of our company. And we'd love for you to come by to our booth and discuss this some further. Thank you so much.
Okay, the final company of the evening is Tympanogen. The company develops ENT devices that simplify existing procedures and improve treatment outcomes using its proprietary gel technology. Please welcome Elaine Hearn-Rani, CEO of Tympanogen.
Good evening. Thank you for sticking around. Tympanogen is a medical device company that simplifies ear, nose, and throat, or ENT procedures. And our first product addresses the 5 million chronic eardrum perforations in the US today. Chronic eardrum perforations come from ear infections, which a lot of kids have, and trauma, and these perforations never heal. It looks like a pretty minor problem, but leaving these perforations untreated lead to recurring infections, hearing loss, and a decreased quality of life. The only option for these patients is a 2-hour surgery where the surgeon partially detaches the ear to access the eardrum and apply a graft. This highly invasive procedure is expensive, it's risky, and it has a long recovery time. Ear, nose, and throat surgeons do not like to do this surgery. And it's because of the complications from the surgery itself and general anesthesia. And that's why we developed the Perfix Otologic Gel Patch. Perfix Otologic Gel Patch replaces that invasive procedure with a very quick clinic visit. It only takes a few minutes to apply and a couple of weeks for the eardrum to heal. Perfix is applied directly to the eardrum through the ear canal, then cured with light to form a scaffold for cells to start growing across that perforation. As the cells grow, they consume Perfix and replace it with new tissue that looks exactly like the original eardrum. We are in clinical studies now. These images are from a 5-year-old subject. The procedure is very well tolerated with no sedation and no anesthesia. Since eardrum repair is inevitable, Perfix is really creating efficiency for the patient, for the surgeon, and the insurer. So compared to the gold standard surgery, Perfix procedure is faster, it's cheaper, it's safer because it doesn't have anesthesia, and it has high success rates. And because the same billing code can be used, whether it's performed in the operating room or in an outpatient clinic, ear, nose, and throat surgeons can use that same billing code for the Perfix procedure as surgery, but they get higher revenue because they're seeing more patients per day. So we've made some significant traction leading up to our clinical study, which is our last milestone before FDA approval as a de novo application. And we're launching Perfix for both adults and kids in the next 12 months. To get here, we've raised over $3 million in private investment and have won over almost $7 million in non-dilutive grant funding. At target market capture, Perfix can generate over $100 million in revenue. This is coming from fewer than 1,000 ENT customers treating over 50,000 patients annually. And this snapshot is just for Perfix. We can iterate on this model for follow-on products within the ear, nose, and throat space. We have a great team in place to execute on our commercial strategy, and we're also supported by incredible and very prominent ear, nose, and throat surgeons and medical device executives who've had very successful exits. We are currently raising a Series A round of $5 million. It's an equity round. This is supporting our commercial launch of Perfix. Funds are going toward expanding our team to support sales and operations. We're scaling up our manufacturing. And all of this is in service of getting to sustainability so that we can position ourselves for a high value exit within the next 3 years. And also exciting is that this is probably the last round of money we're going to raise. You better jump in now. But we're an attractive investment right now because we are basically as de-risked as we're going to get. We are the lone player left standing in the field, which is a huge luxury. And we have acquirers waiting for us. So thank you very much for your attention, and look forward to talking to you out of the booth.
Thanks, Elaine. Great job. Let's give it up for all 12 of our presenters today. We have the space, thank you, Ray, until 9 o'clock. So please go out and chat with some amazing presenters today, seriously. Right? Thank you. So please enjoy them. Thursday, we have our rocket pitch online. And February 6th, we're in Baltimore. Thank you guys for joining.